Hey fiber friends, welcome to the Botanical Knitter Vlogcast and my recap of New York Sheep and Wool. It's day one of Rhinebeck, and I am wearing my Fiber MacGyver t-shirt, gotta represent, the Gushy Garter Vest by Park and Knit, and it's in Fiber MacGyver yarn, cause duh. And then if you can see, here's the end result of my embroidery. One of my roomies also embroidered her sweaters, but she felted in to fill in some of the space, and I think I might do that inside the Monstera leaves when I'm back home. Who knows? Rhinebeck, Saturday morning. It's 8:45. People are gonna start coming at 9. I'm gonna take you on a little tour of the booth before the chaos begins because it looks so good. So we've got Born Slippy, which is a free pattern, I think, from Madeline Tosh, but look at it. Oh, showtime.
Oh, you're so beautiful. I love the colors too. Okay, go for it. So it's yes, yes. So
Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, day 2 of Rhinebeck. Yesterday was chaos. I really didn't get much footage because once the festival opened at 9, the booth was full and it was the best time. And then after Rhinebeck and the chaos, we went to a friend's house and had dinner and I got to meet the most wonderful people, women in fiber who are so creative, so kind. Yesterday was a blessing for sure. Today is probably a less busy day. Saturdays are usually the very wild times at Rhinebeck, so today might be a little calmer. Today I'm wearing my Thistlewood by Jen Steingass under my Fiber MacGyver shirt but I might fold the sleeves to hide it a bit until it's too hot, and then I take it off. And then I'm just wearing some sailor pants, and then got some socks. This is the Stack of Books sock pattern by Sock Witchery, along with the colorway Lighted Up and Through Love from Witchfire Fiber. So yeah, that's today. I'll try and grab more footage. I'm hoping today I can leave the booth and do some shopping. If I can't, no big deal. But I am looking for some farm yarn with some blends and breeds that I haven't had a chance to get or knit with, or that aren't as easy to get in Minnesota. So I'll tune in later and hopefully capture more footage today, but having the best time. I say this not to give you all FOMO, but I hope what I'm capturing gives you a little bit of perspective of what the event's like and you're able to go in the future. All right, bye.
swap, yeah? Thank you. One of my favorite spinning purchases of 2022 was this Feederbrook BFL, and I'm back for 2 more bags. It's so good. Taking a lunch break in Madge. Today's Sunday, not as busy as it was the other day, Saturday. I heard somebody say 29,000. I'm not sure that that's correct because that's bonkers. But anyways, lunch break. Let me show you what Ann, Susie's sister, got us. Lobster mac and cheese, lobster roll, grilled cheese, french fries, chicken skewers. I mean, it's just like comfort food city. And then here's a little inside of Madge, but you'll see more on our road trip. Look who I found. It's Casey. Hi, Casey. What do you got? Okay. Morning. It's Monday morning. We're going to pick up Madge and get on the road, but we're stopping. We didn't explore Rhinebeck at all, so now we're stopping and we're gonna get some coffee, some breakfast, and we're gonna get on the road. So come with me to the coffee shop because it's so cute.
Oh, awesome. They all want to do that. Oh, this one. It's not. I mean,
all right, we're a couple hours into the road trip. We just got started and we're in Pennsylvania. I really haven't driven through Pennsylvania since I was like 14 and on a giant bus for a school trip. And of course we had to stop in Scranton, the electric city. And we drove by this mural that's painted on the back of a bank. And we quickly pulled up, took some pictures of Madge, and then had to go back around. So we got gas, got some caffeine. We're gonna keep pushing through. I had no idea Pennsylvania was this beautiful. Like, I don't know, it's hard to see, but there's some like hills around here. Everything is changing. These leaves are so pretty. I don't know, I think it's great. And then I'll turn you around slow so I don't make your car sick. There's Madge. What's that? Oh my God. So Susie, because we're camping in Madge, there's Madge, say hi Madge, told me about this app that she uses. What is it, Susie?
Harvest Host.
And it's a way to like safely stay when you're on the road and people donate their space. So we're staying at this farm in Pennsylvania. It's like rural Pennsylvania and it's beautiful, and I'll show you some footage. But they have a market on the farm and they have barbecue and a winery and they have beer. So we're gonna eat some dinner and knit. Because believe it or not, after being at a sheep and wool festival for 3 days, you don't really knit that much because you're so busy. All right, bye. No barbecue on Mondays, but we got sandwiches and we have beers from at the grocery store, and we're gonna have a little picnic and watch the sunset and knit. It's gonna be, I feel like 10 out of 10. Pajama time. This is Madge. My bed, Susie's bed. I'm sitting on the grids from the booth. We're gonna knit, watch TV, and relax. I know some people might have a thing about eating food on a podcast and it might bother you, but when you're on a road trip, you need to do snacks, and I'm just gonna keep it real. So I picked up 2 Utz potato chips because they talk about it in the office, I'm pretty sure. I got the crab chip, which has Old Bay seasoning, or no, Chesapeake Bay crab seasoning. That's different, I think. And then fried dill pickle. And this bag's like half empty, so I think you can tell which one I like. This one is a little fishy, obviously, because it's from the sea, but also is not salty enough for me. And Susie has Funyuns. And it's
And the cutest mug.
in the cutest mug. Look at that.
Waverly Long.
That's adorable. This is our snack station, our electronic station. We've got a cooler, we've got a water thing.
I think I have like a puff here where my eyes laid and my head's all
We haven't showered. We did brush our
We're
teeth.
on the road.
We brush our teeth. We're great. Everything's fine. And it's 10:22 and we're eating chips. So happy road tripping. Yeah. 2 on the road. We're in Indiana. We're gonna try and get to Michigan City, and we ran out of time. So now we're in Angola, Indiana, and it has this beautiful statue. We parked Madge, and now we're gonna eat pizza, and like, it's so cute. Oh, and it just rained on me. Did you see that happen? In my eyeball. Good morning from Indiana. Like I said last night, we didn't get as far as we wanted to, but we ended up, as you saw, in the cutest little town. So we're up before 7, which is for us so good. We got coffee from, it's called 5 Lakes Coffee. It has a cute drive-thru. We went inside using my Jam PDXA Natural Dyes mug. And we're gonna have a little picnic and eat yogurt while we wait for the sun to come up. But look at the sky. It reminds me of my classic by Sawkill Farm that I'm using with Cottage Snow from Sport Knits. With the blues, the dark reds. It's pretty.
Took her small hand in his. What you said during the trial and all.
Well, I'm home. Susie dropped me off around 6 o'clock Central. After driving in the morning, we made it through Chicago. We did a pit stop at my home, my parents' house, and we had lunch with my parents and my aunt, which was really nice. My aunt is a knitter. And then we made the rest of the drive up through Wisconsin into Minnesota. So sitting down, I showered, which felt so good. Chris had dinner ready, so I'm just about to eat, but I wanted to show you the progress I made on my Alpine Bloom. All right, Alpine Bloom progress. So I started right around here when I got to Rhinebeck. Day 1, so this was Monday driving, which we didn't do a ton of driving Monday. Tuesday driving, so Pennsylvania to pretty, like right on the border of Indiana and Ohio. And that was, I was working on 2 projects, which I got about an inch on the other project. And then here is today's progress. Got a lot done today. Though I tried to take breaks because my wrists were a little spicy. Hey, editing Emily here. Realizing I did no transition from my vlog footage to my Rhinebeck recap chatter bit. So here's the transition. Thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying the episode. And here's my recap of Rhinebeck. I bought quite a few things, if I'm being really honest with you, because, you know, that's how we do it here. And I want to keep myself to task because, one, I could ramble and go on and on and on. And nobody wants a very, very long episode, or at least I assume nobody does. So let's start with Thursday. The Thursday before New York Sheep and Wool started, I flew from Minnesota to Connecticut with Susie's sister Anne. We picked up a rental car and we drove to Rhinebeck to our Airbnb. It was around 8 o'clock after we got there, so Thursday was a quiet night and just really getting to know the Rhinebeck roomies. So our Rhinebeck house was myself, Anne, Susie, Susie's friend Mary Beth, and Mary Beth's friend Julie. And I had never met Mary Beth or Julie before. And within 5 minutes of meeting them, I was like, I love these women already. When we were just sitting around getting to know each other Thursday night, learning about past careers, the creativity, I was just kind of in awe of these women. I was like, wow, I am around some amazing, super smart, super creative, super kind and super generous women. And I was like, pinch me. How did I end up here? So thanks again to Susie for just this whole experience and opportunity. So our Airbnb was beautiful. I have a bunch of footage of our Airbnb. I didn't take footage till after we had checked out or as we were packing up the car. So beds aren't made. It's a little messy because we have been living in it all weekend, but you can see it's this old barn that's been refurbished. It was just maybe 7 minutes from the fairgrounds. It was absolutely gorgeous, and I would stay there again. Okay, Friday. Friday was setup day. We got to the Dutchess County Fairgrounds around 9:30, 10, 9 o'clock. I can't remember. I don't know why I'm trying to be so specific. We got there Friday morning to set up Susie's booth. We did a time lapse, or we attempted to do a time lapse. I guess it cut before we finished because it took quite a long time. I hung out there helping with setup until about 1 o'clock. And then I had tickets to go to Indie Untangled and Cake Palooza. And those are some of the events that were happening to lead up to Rhinebeck's New York Sheep and Wool starting Saturday, Sunday. From here on out, I'm probably going to use Rhinebeck to cover all of the things, but I know that can be a little confusing because Rhinebeck is the town where New York Sheep and Wool is. Because my trip to Rhinebeck was a little bit last minute, I was able to get the later afternoon ticket entries for Indie Untangled and Cake Palooza. My Rhinebeck roomies had tickets already to go to a woolen affair. That was the event put on by Catherine from Brooklyn General, and it was at Rose Hill Farms, but there weren't any tickets left. So I said, you all have fun. I'm going to do Indian cake. I'll connect with some people there. And it all ended up working out well because last minute I was able to get a ticket to the evening festivities at a woolen affair. So I started out with Indie Untangled. My ticket was from 2 to 4. I didn't get there till after 2:30 because I stayed a little bit longer to help with the booth. And it was a huge space. It was on some horse show grounds. I used to ride horses, so I was like, this would be such a great place to show. There was plenty of parking, totally well organized. The volunteers were fabulous, like 10 out of 10 event experience. I was wildly overwhelmed, right? This was the first time being there and seeing all the dyers and seeing friends. And it was like, so Casey Hurley, my friend, saw me and I think she was like, yeah, you're a little shocked right now. I was like, I know, I'm processing everything. But it was really fun to see Zombie Knit Apocalypse friends, to see Casey, to see Brianne, Moon and Yarn, and Haley of Lock Knits, formerly the Woolies podcast. That was one of my first podcasts that I started watching. And I just like looked up and there they were, and they were so nice. So that was great to see all of them. I wore for Indie Untangled my sheep camp sweater and a pair of Pomona pants I had made just before I flew out of corduroy. And I wore the sheep camp sweater because I was wearing Treehouse Knits yarn, and Lauren, the dyer of Treehouse Knits, was there vending. So that was my very first stop, and I was a little starstruck. I was very excited to meet Lauren, and I want to show you the yarns that I got from there. I very easily could have walked away with so much more yarn, but I thought, sis, slow your roll. So the first skein I picked up and I definitely walked away with was this skein of fingering weight yarn. And the colorway name is called Stories That Really Mattered. It's on Lauren's extra fine sock base. So 90% merino, 10% nylon. This will be a shawl or a hat. It's just beautiful. The second skein of yarn that I had to get, and I had to get it because I regretted not ordering it when Lauren did her office collection, was Scranton What. This is the same base. It's going to be a pair of socks for my husband and I. We love The Office. I think I've seen every episode 5 times, maybe. Like it's an obsession thing. So I was really excited to see this colorway and to be able to pick it up. And you'll see in the vlog footage that when Susie and I were driving home with Madge, her camper, we stopped in Scranton. And that was like a full circle moment, like road trip. And then the last skein of yarn, or skeins of yarn, I got from Treehouse Knits. I got 4 skeins of this yak silk DK. And the colorway name is called No More Than the Fossils. It's from the Season of the Stitch collection. 60% merino wool, 20% silk, 20% yak. And this is destined to become a Collette tee by Sari Nordlund. It is so squishy. Lauren was wearing a sweater knit up in this yarn, and I knew I had to have it. So have it. I did. All right. The next stop along the way was swinging by Cesium Yarn to see Kat, the dyer of Cesium, and then to also see Casey Hurley, wonderful pattern designer. I talk about her all the time, and a friend. And I picked up this gorgeous roving from Cesium, and it is the Shanico base. Shanico is US made, US grown. The wool is processed and milled here in the US, and it's a blend. The Shanico sheep is a blend of, my understanding is, a crossbreed of Merino and Rambouillet. Super soft, just really yummy. So I got this colorway. It's called the Bird Situation. And then I also picked up a skein of yarn, not from Cesium, but from Newburgh Yarn Co. and the colorway is Bookshop Window, because I was thinking this would be beautiful together for a testnet I'm doing for Samantha Guerin. So Sam has a new cowl that's coming out that is a mix of hand spun and mill spun yarn. And she used this Newburgh yarn, this base. It's a DK base, 100% superwash merino. It is so pretty. And Kim, the dyer of Newburgh, was so lovely. I was really glad I got to meet her. We had been following each other on Instagram, but it was the first time we got to meet in person. And so this was the original plan, was to spin this and knit this together. I'll show you in a little bit. That plan has changed, but this is still going to be spun up very soon because it's really yummy. Okay, my other purchases from Indie Untangled were, surprise, surprise, some stitch markers. The first stitch marker set I got was from Up Studio, and it was this set of stitch markers. I'm going to do one at a time. Kamala, with some stitch markers that spell out vote. I might not get them all to line up perfectly. So here's their card. This was my last purchase. And then I also was able to get this gorgeous set of stitch markers, wooden stitch markers from Tinker's Hollow. Let's see if it'll... I was talking to the maker, and it sounds like her husband, her partner, does woodwork. I don't know if professionally or for fun. And she takes the scraps and makes these beautiful stitch markers. There was one set, and I have vlog footage of it, so you'll see it, of all of these cutting boards, like mini cutting boards. I ended up just going with this mountain and then 3 little, wow, this is a terrible angle. Can never work at QVC. 3 stitch markers that are just squares and stained to pull out the wood color from here. So that was my haul from Indie Untangled. While shopping at Indie Untangled, managed to spill my water bottle in my canvas bag. Kudos to the Sacred Sheep vendors, or the Sacred Sheep event organizers, from sourcing your canvas totes from a really well-made manufacturer, because it did not start dripping until probably 10 minutes after I spilled it. So I was feeling something damp on the side of my leg. I looked down and there was a pool of water in my canvas bag, and it had gotten my Scranton wet skein all wet. That's why it's all untwisted, because I was letting it dry in the car. My phone was wet, but I was like, cool, got it dry, all good. So it was fine. I had to squeeze things. Thankfully, I had thought to bring another bag. So I quickly changed things around, squeezed out all the excess water and put it back in. So I knew that I wanted to be home around 5:20 to go to a woolen affair. So I left right away at 4 once my Indie ticket ended. I said I was going to skip Cake Palooza, which was a bummer because I wanted to see Christy of Birdie Parker. I knew I was going to skip cake, try not to rush. Wanted to avoid having stress, right? That's great. I get in my car. My phone's about, has 20% left. I go to charge it, and I get the notification that the lightning connection portal where the charger plugs in had too much moisture in it. And if I continued to try to charge my phone, I would damage my phone. So I had water damage that I hadn't caught on to. My phone was dying. And then eventually, as I'm driving over from Kingston, Saugerties back to Rhinebeck across that bridge, and if you've gone to Rhinebeck, you know that bridge. It's a 1-lane bridge. I was stuck in traffic for at least an hour, what should have been a 30-minute drive. There was a car accident, plus that traffic of just more of us being in the area for New York Sheep and Wool. My phone's dying. I have no cell service or limited cell service. I'm trying to keep tracking, like, how long is it going to take me to get home? It keeps adding time. I'm trying to call Susie, it's going straight to voicemail. I was so stressed out, just wildly stressed out. But anyways, made it back to the Airbnb in time. Everybody was so nice about it. They're like, no, we're fine. We're good. So then I did a costume change. I ended up putting on my Milkweed DK sweater by Jamie Hoffman, knit out of Lola Bean Yarn Co.'s Leaf Voter Suppression Behind. And we went in one car together to a woolen affair at Rosehill Farms. It was a beautiful event. I filmed one video of us walking in, and then my phone died, and I wasn't going to try charging it until I knew it was dry enough to charge. So there's no footage, but I think that really was fine because it was dark. And I just loved being present. I had some delicious vegan chickpea curry for dinner. I sat at a picnic table. I fangirled people from afar. I ran into Sarah. I ran into Kim and Jonna, who I had first met in Rhinebeck in 2022. Saw the grocery girls. Like, it was really fun just from afar to see everybody and be like, oh, this is really cool. So loved that event. Saturday of New York Sheep and Wool was all about Susie's booth. I was in the booth from 8:30 to 5:30 and left once to go quickly to Casey's meetup on the hill and to use the restroom. It was packed. It was chaotic. I think I heard somebody say there were 29,000 people. Susie was on the lower road, the lower vendor road, which is just down from the hill where folks host their meetups. And we had consistent traffic. However, it wasn't as chaotic as some of the pictures I saw from the barns. There was almost always some space for folks to walk around. It never felt super overwhelming. Our booth energy, I feel like, was really high. We were having so much fun, and that energy was matched by everybody who came into the booth. I had so much fun talking to people, asking them about their Rhinebeck outfits, asking them and helping them pick out colors for some combos. I wore the Gushy Garter Vest by Park and Knit. I knew I wasn't going to have time to knit a full Rhinebeck sweater, but I wanted to use Susie's new Shanico DK base. And so I knit the Gushy Garter and I ended up embroidering on the back of it. Thank you to Jen of Jen Geigley Knits for sending me some vlog footage she took of me in my vest and of the booth. Because I was so focused on selling that yarn and talking with people and supporting people as they were purchasing yarn, really didn't do much on Saturday for the vlog. So thanks, Jen, for helping fill in the gaps there. So I really didn't do, I did no shopping, but I did have a little mini meetup at Susie's booth. And so I'm not going to name everyone. I know I'm not going to name everybody that I ran into, and that is very unintentional. And so I'm going to try to avoid trying to list off every single person I met, but I had some beautiful conversations with Lisette and Sharon, Oliver and James, Jen Geigley and her friend Erica. Now my friend Erica, I'm going to say, Shelby from Black Pearl Magic, Yaz, who makes the gorgeous, beautiful crochet earrings. Olga, Gotham Knits, came in, and I was not cool about that at all, but she was really nice, and I helped her pick out some beautiful yarn. I got to meet Tori Yu in person. I have been test knitting for Tori Yu, I think starting with her second pattern. She was my first test knit, and I have test knit a bunch of her things. So it was really lovely to be able to see her and give her a hug in the booth. If you came up and said hi to me, if we talked, if we made a connection, like, thank you so much. I told a couple of people this, but it's this weird thing of like, I'm talking to myself, I'm posting things about my life on the internet, and to know that people watch it and feel a connection to me is amazing. Even if we've never met, every comment is great. Every DM you send me on Instagram is like building our friendship. So just know, even if we've never met through the phone, through the internet, we're fiber friends. So thanks for being part of my community. It's just that I don't think that will ever get old. Sunday was the shopping day. It was a much quieter day, I'll say that, and had a really fun time running into more people. But I was able to sneak away from the booth twice, which I also felt sad about leaving the booth because I felt like I was missing out. Like, I had FOMO about leaving. Oops, sorry. I had FOMO about leaving the booth. But I want to show you some of my purchases from Sunday. So one of the first places I went to was the book barn, where they had a bunch of beautiful books and authors doing meetings, or they were doing like a meet and greet and signing books. I was walking by and I looked to my left and I'm like, holy shit, that's Patty Lyons. So I ended up getting the workbook. I already have the Knitting Bag of Tricks book, and so I was excited to get the workbook. I didn't even know this existed, honestly. And I'm a mostly self-taught knitter. My aunt taught me a long time ago. And then during COVID, she provided me some TA via FaceTime. But technical assistance. That was like some public health wonkiness that came out. Sorry. And so I purchased the Knitting Bag of Tricks a little bit earlier this year, and I'm such a better knitter already. It's just like these little tricks that I had no idea, and it's like tightening up my stitches. It's exciting. So the workbook is taking what you're reading and putting it into practice. And the best part, Patty signed it. it was really cool. So a little fangirl moment from me there because I'm human and it's Patty Lyons. The second place I went to was Sawkill Farms. In 2022, I purchased a huge armful of yarn from Sawkill. I'm going to drop in a photo that a friend took of me coming out. You can see my face being like, oh, I didn't need to buy more yarn, but man, I love this yarn. So like, I loved it. And I knit a Tecumseh out of it. And if you've followed my Instagram, followed this YouTube channel, you know that my Tecumseh could fit 500 people in it because it's so huge. I don't need to get into it. I gauge swatched. I tried it on. Things happen, right? Anywho, so I decided instead of buying a whole new sweater quantity of Sawkill, I bought 2 skeins of this yarn. This is the worsted weight natural brown, the dark brown undyed. And I am going to finally rip out that Tecumseh and use the Sawkill yarn that I have. And it is either going to be for another colorwork sweater because I love the color combos I have, or I got 2 skeins of this and it's going to be a test knit that I have. I need to get started on from Laura Penrose, and it's this really beautiful garter cardigan. So I got 2 skeins of that. And then I also got 1 skein of this fingering weight mauve, heathered. So it's over the dark gray wool. And I'm going to hold it with a Sari, and it's going to be a beautiful hat. I love how yarn smells. Okay. My next purchase was from Boondoggle Farms, and I got the most beautiful fin. It's 100% fin. It's their worsted weight, 3-ply, 120 yards. It is so soft and squishy. I wish there was like a squish vision so you could just like watch. Ready? It's yummy. So this is going to become a vest. It's a very cottagecore vest. It's got some lace work to it, some ribbing, kind of cropped. It's going to be adorable. Okay. And then my last big yarn purchase at New York Sheep and Wool was this amazing yarn from Prado de Lana. This is a new to me farm, though I've realized I've definitely heard about this on podcasts before. I got their 2-ply DK. It's CVM, Romdale CVM. It is equally squishy. It's this beautiful cream color. I'm actually thinking this is going to be the test knit for Laura Penrose so I can save my Sawkill for a beautiful colorwork sweater. But I'm excited to swatch this and cake this up because it is really yummy. Okay. Then I also purchased some fiber. In 2022, I purchased 8 ounces of BFL roving from Feederbrook Farms, and I ordered 12 ounces more once I finished spinning it after I got home, and I knew I needed more. So I got 16 ounces of BFL roving, 2 different colors, this beautiful green tonal, which we love a green, and then this more galaxy colored. See, there's like some purples, some reds, some golds. It's really pretty. So my plan is to spin this up, do a 2-ply DK weight. That's what I always do. And I think ply them together, and I think it'll be really pretty. Probably some sort of shawl. We'll see. I also got 1 bag of roving from Into the World. I regretted not purchasing fiber from this vendor in 2022 at Rhinebeck, so I rectified that situation, and I have already spun it. It is Sunday. I got home Wednesday night because of the road trip that we had, and I'm obsessed. So here it is. It's still wet. I soaked it and set it this morning. It is so pretty. The colorway is called Just Pretentious Enough. And I split it in half, and did tip to tail. And remember that cowl I was telling you about, the test knit for Sam Guerin? This is my combo. I'm really excited. Again, I love the smell of wool. Oh, forgot one thing. I want to do a shout out to the best booth neighbors ever. Haulin Hoof Farms is a family out of Ohio. Their daughter is an amazing potter. So I purchased these 2 buttons from them, these 2 sets. Very Emily, very beautiful. I also purchased a mug that is currently sitting by the sink and needs to get washed because I've used it every day since I've been back from Rhinebeck. And I got that because we all shared some apple cider and whiskey together. And so that was like a fun little memory. And then I also want to do a shout out to Haulin Hoof because they helped us at 8 o'clock at night when it was dark on Sunday and we were all tired and wanted to be done, look for the rental car keys that I lost. All's out, all is well. We found them. It was a very stressful hour and a half of my life. But thank you to that whole fam. Like, they had their iPads out. They stopped setting up to help me look for car keys in the dark. So thank you. It was just, people are amazing. So the last thing I want to tell you about are the gifts that I was given by my amazing Rhinebeck roomies. The first is from Mary Beth. Mary Beth used fruit to print onto fabric. She did an amazing tea towel, which is already in my kitchen. Chris knows he can't use it. My husband, it's not for hands, it's for show. And then also this beautiful drawstring linen bag. These are kiwis. So that was cool. And also, like, again, creative women who make things for each other. Like, I just love that. I don't know that Julie would call this a gift, but I'm calling it a gift. A Wool and Affair had a thing where if you made a cuff, then you got a discount. I wasn't there for the market, but Julie used scrap from one of her weavings. She's an amazing weaver as her cuff, and I was just oogling it, and so she gave it to me, which was really nice. Mostly because I have some serious color inspiration. Blue, red, brown, black, and then this like limey green, but it's more, I don't know, it's showing a little bit more yellow here. I have just, this has to be a sweater. So anyways, I'm keeping this for color inspo, and it's probably going to be a bookmark or something. And then Mary Beth ended up going to Jill Draper's show on Sunday. And so I was like, go, I've got the booth. Go have fun. Enjoy Jill Draper. And she's so sweet. She brought me home this really gorgeous skein from Jill Draper. It is the fingering weight, 425 yards of 100% Dorset wool. So this is going to be a really hardy wool and is destined to be a pair of hiking socks for me. I just think like the label is so cool. The colors are absolutely gorgeous. So thanks to Mary Beth for this really beautiful treat. The colorway is called Woodland Carpet. And then finally, Susie from a Fiber MacGyver spoiled me. I'm going to try and do this and not hit my mic. As I mentioned, I regretted not being able to go to Cake Palooza and get some jewelry from Christy of Birdie Parker. Here's my watch band from Birdie Parker. It's leather. It's the knit stitch. I love it. And so Christy came to the booth on Sunday, I think, and pulled out a bag of her talisman, or the crafter's talisman necklaces. And I was like, oh, I want one. Well, I lost track of time taking care of people. Susie bought me one, which was just, I don't know. I was definitely PMSing because I cried a lot, but it was also like happy, happy tears. So here's the talisman necklace. It has some stitch markers, and then it has some tools for emergency knitting. Oop. And then it's these really beautiful green metal pieces. And they all clip off. They're on lobster claws and they clip off. And I'm just obsessed with it. So thank you, Susie. Thank you, Christy, for picking out, sorry for sound. Thank you, Christy, for picking out green, because obviously I love green. I've worn it every day. That's the best. Okay, I've been going on for a really long time. Vlog footage, you've seen it. We had so much fun driving home with Madge. We left Monday from Rhinebeck and got back to Minneapolis on Wednesday night around 6:30. I had the best time. We listened to an audiobook, All of the Colors in the Dark, All of the Colors of the Dark. We didn't finish it because we got really chatty, which is kind of the best part, I think, of road trips, is bonding with your friends. So we listened to audiobooks, we talked, and we camped along the way in Madge, her beautiful Happier camper. I want one, it's so cute. And then on Wednesday, we stopped at my hometown and we had lunch with my parents, and my aunt Robbie came over, the one who taught me how to knit. And my mom had chili ready and had made fresh cookies, and it was a really nice way to break up that last long leg of the trip. I left Rhinebeck feeling like I had so much positive energy in me. I was feeling inspired to make things. I have yarn that I'm so excited to make with. I've already been spinning. But also I just feel like I'm a better person. the kindness, the patience, people looking out for each other, taking care of each other. I just loved that. Like I needed this energy to carry me through election season, right? Because it's right now. But just through work and whatever else. So I left feeling like I'm a better person. So thanks to everybody. It was so lovely to see you and meet you. All right, this is it. I'm wrapping it up. I hope wherever you are well, and I'll see you next time.